Health Newsfeed, good afternoon to you. I'm sure that one of the questions that goes through your mind when we see what we've been seeing on our television screens occurring in our country, in KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng over the last few days is a simple question. Why? There's so many reasons. For some people, it's all political. It's all about the former president. For others, it's all about a much bigger protest. For others, it'll just be about looting. For others, it'll be particularly around our economic situation and our racialized inequality. It is also, of course, about unemployment. It seems to me to be undeniable that that's one of the big factors. And I'm talking about the fact that before the pandemic, 56% of our young people were not in employment. Some figures now after the pandemic or in the middle of the pandemic or towards the end of the pandemic go as high as 70%. Well, this also, of course, raises questions about our school system. Bonginkhosi Mchuni runs an NGO called Ohllofus. It works with young people, tries to get them back into the system. He joins us now. Bonginkhosi, good afternoon to you, and thank you for the time. We all know the figures. We all know how bad it is. So many of our young people are not working, and that's one of the problems. Where do the roots of this unemployment lie? Is it in our schooling system? Is it in our economy itself somewhere?
Our structures are really the main cause of this problem. And yes, to be precise, it lies heavily on our schooling system because there is a very important aspect that prepares people for participation in the economy. And over the past years, the government and a lot of things have been done to try and ensure that the schooling system is in a way that prepares young people for participation in the economy so that all the problems that come after this can be avoided. But we do not seem to be getting it right, at least not as yet.
Are children studying the wrong thing? Are they being taught the wrong thing? I mean, the wrong subjects or the wrong parts of the wrong subjects?
It's quite a few structures. I mean, to speak again on the figures, 8.9 million young people are not in education, employment, no training, and what causes that? Because most of us enter school as soon as we know how to do anything else, but there are a lot of problems within the schooling structure. You will find that some of us are dropping out of school, and that will factor into not being able to participate in the economy or not being able to get a job. Also adding to that, some of us, and if you leave, if you drop out of schools, you then lack the certification that you need when you have to apply for a job, which then doesn't solve our problem of youth unemployment, and it keeps contributing to the problems that we have over the last 10 or 15 years. We've been talking about the issue of youth unemployment and doing a lot of things, launching a lot of programs to try and address it. But still, we don't seem to have made a lot of impact. And I think that is where the focus should be. And with what is going on right now in the country, it does not raise the hope that we will see a lot of people being employed. So we're still going to enjoy this problem for quite some time if we don't change the way we do things.
I have to say, Bonginkhosi, I mean, there's been conversation after conversation about unemployment figures for younger people. I wonder sometimes if the problem actually starts very, very young, that our education system fails young people almost before they leave the foundation phase. Before they leave grade 3, they're in a situation where they won't be able to, keep up. They won't be able to receive the education that people in richer areas will receive.
Yeah, Stephen, that is quite a fact and a lived reality for most of us. We can say with almost absolute certainty that someone who's had a good education has a better chance of achieving anything. But the problems that we are facing, and a lot of people face, that we discovered also on the work that we do with the organization, all of us, is that what you say? And at the foundation phase, you would find that there is not enough. You leave the foundation phase not being prepared. I'm thinking, I'm remembering the issue of literacy now, to say that most of us left the foundation phase not being able to read properly, and not being able to read properly also factors into the thing that's going to contribute to you succeeding in the school. And it's not only the foundation phase. You'll find that when most people arrive in grade 9, they are not sure which careers to choose. They're not sure what subjects to follow, and that is where the issue starts. So from grade 9, you should be knowing about the option of or the vocational training option, which is not very emphasized as a viable option. You should know in grade 9 that there is that option, and also be able to tell what jobs you can look out for in the future and how to get to those jobs. But that is we find that we don't have we don't have those conversations at that stage, and only at a later stage you realize that when I was on that stage, I should have made this choice. I should have looked at this decision this way before taking that route. So the school, the education plays a really important aspect on this.
You've tried to make interventions, Bonginkhosi. I mean, you work with people in this situation, people who come out of school, maybe they have matric, maybe they don't. Are there particular interventions that you've seen actually make a difference? And sometimes I think one of the problems that young people might face is that they actually just don't know what they can do and what they want to do. And that's a question, it's got nothing to do with ability at all. It's all about direction.
Yeah, that is true. It's all about, at times it's all about the information that you have, because if you have the right kind of information, you will obviously know how to get yourself out of the situation, or how to try and improve your life. But some of the interventions that I know have worked, including the young people in the conversation about this problem. I would say particularly this is very helpful, because I know that one of the organizations that I will work with, Youth Capital, has a 10-point action plan, and that was developed in conversations with the young people. So if we have solutions that are inclusive in that manner, where you will be able to hear the frustrations of the people, hear the problems that are closer to them, that are bringing them down and causing them not to be able to get jobs. There's also an issue of the cost of finding employment. So if you don't address things like that, we won't be able to solve this. But if we work together, talk to organizations that are closer to the people in the communities, we will be able to really tackle this challenge, because we will be getting it from the people who are experiencing it firsthand. That is the solution that I think is best. Further to that, also emphasizing the issue of certification, as much as experience count, but there is a lot of value in having something to show for yourself when you apply for a job. For example, showing a matric certificate, showing some certificate of some sort that says you are able to do this. So a lot of employers are looking out to get it. So we need to ensure that at all these different stages, even if there can be a program like a public works program, it needs to have some sort of certification, some sort of thing that a young person can show and be able to take it and move on to the next thing. And lastly, I think there are obviously a lot of programs that are out there to help the young people get employed. But I feel like if we can approach it in a manner that we are building careers for young people and not just getting them piece jobs that will last them for 3 or 6 months, we can really do a lot of difference on this.
Bonginkhosi. Mchunu, thank you from the NGO, all of us working with young people. I do appreciate the time, of course, youth unemployment, a big part of all of this. Well, look at this. This, some might say, is the beginning of the restoration of order. This is in Alexandra, live pictures, the SANDF moving through parts of that area on the ground. I'm fairly certain I saw what looked like a green bottle to me a little earlier, but you can see the SANDF making, well, arrests on behalf of the SAPS and just moving through that area. If you're wondering, by the way, it is true that under the law, a soldier, a member of the SANDF, does not have the right to actually conduct an arrest. However, they can, on instruction of a police officer, detain someone, and the police officer legally makes the arrest. What that means in practice, it means the police officer will say to, one police officer will say to 10 soldiers, please go and arrest that group of people, and the soldiers will then go and round them up and handle the physicality of it, and legally the police officer has conducted the arrest. All right.